Hi, guys. Welcome back to the Tested with Glenn podcast. We're so excited to have you guys here in the studio with us today. And we have with us not just Glenn, but we've got some really good information that Glenn has shared in a clip, one of two, about veganism that's been spread all over the world. But before we get into this really exciting um, story about veganism, we're also going to go into Glenn. You've been a part of a film with Justin Bieber and Diana Keaton, both award winning actors. And you're now up to 143 million views on a new film that you guys did. Tell us about that. Sounds really exciting.
Well, thank you so much for that. I sincerely appreciate that. This was actually Justin's video, his latest single called Ghost. And I had the blessing and luck to work with Justin and the beautiful Diane Keaton, who's a marvelously gifted, talented actress. They were both so wonderful to me, and I love them both. And it's amazing, 143 million views around the world. I'm just so happy about that. And I want to take this minute to send Justin some blessings and love and healing because he's unwell at the moment. So, dear Justin, I wish you a speedy recovery, sending you love and blessings.
That's so awesome. And I know that he really appreciates that a lot. So, Glenn, we have talked a little bit about the veganism, and we've got a clip here that we're going to show, and I'm going to have you, dive in a little bit further. Some words that you'd like to share before we jump into this clip, just to give us a little bit of an idea and background behind it, and then what is your passion behind veganism?
Well, thank you for that. Well, first of all, I was raised in Scotland. I was a meat eater. Very prolific meat eater. Aberdeen Angus cows, pigs, black pudding sausage. I was the meat eater. And so it was habitual, like many people. It's habitual, so that's what I had. So moving ahead, as my years got older, I studied health. And one of the things he said was just try fish. So I tried fish, cut out the red meat, seemed to help. And then as I went along, I kept investigating this and some sort of be a vegetarian. Oh, okay, I'll try that. That was rough, but I got through that. So I was rarefying my light body as I was going along, unknowns to me at the time. I'm just a regular guy, just switching, And then I met my friend Charles in the Loving Hut in Claremont, California, and he's a vegan restaurant. I just went in there because I was hungry. And I started chatting with him, and he brought all the vegan food up. And he's really vegan, the hair products, the soap, everything is vegan, 100%. And so he talked to me about that. I was a little skeptical. I'm a big fella, 6'2", 190 pounds. I thought, is that going to work for me? So he goes, well, it's something more important, because I talked about the death experience, which I talked about, I think it was last week, or mentioned the voice in your head. And he had shared with me that I need to go to Taiwan and meet Master Ching Hai. And of course, that all tied together because I still wasn't 100% sure that God was in my heart and my ego was my name. It was conflicting. So one of the prerequisites was you had to be a vegan as well as do many, many other things. So I said, really? And so he gave me the list, and my goodness, what a change. I mean, I have to check every label, do this, do that, do that. And for the first few months, I was getting nightmares of giant steaks on the fridge. Help. So eventually I kept at it. It took me a year. So it's not, a thing that just happened. Then I went over to Taiwan and I got the real understanding of why you need to be vegan. Of course, the body, this temple that we occupy, is more rarefied with purified food and plant-based food. That's a fact. That's been proven in the laboratory. But more importantly, I learned over there that there's a hierarchy of bandwidths of God's thinking. all of the universe. And the ones in this planet are like so. We have a mineral kingdom, which is a vibration, begetted by a vegetable kingdom, which is a vibration, begetted by an animal kingdom, which is a vibration, begetted by a human kingdom, which is begetted by the spiritual kingdom. These are all vibrations of energy like ice, water, and steam. It's the same chemical formula. Ice is a solid, water is a liquid, and steam is a vapor. And it's the same thing, but it's vibrating different. So it gives the illusion of being something different. But the truth is, it's the same. The whole universe is the same, just simply a different vibration and a myriad of God's conceptions by his thinking. That's how the universe is actually made. So getting back to veganism, when you eat a piece of meat, you're de-evolving into the animal kingdom because the universe is not staying still. You're either evolving or de-evolving. That's a fact, and physicists will tell you that. So every choice, every thought, every action, every meal you take is either moving you forward to evolve you closer to God consciousness, to that steam, if you will, from the ice, water, and steam, or it's taking you back. There's no in between because the universe is in perpetual motion. It couldn't be otherwise or we wouldn't exist. So in order to synchronize with God, we have to synchronize our being, our thoughts, our actions to become one with him. So one of the key concepts is veganism. You eat meat, what happens? First of all, animals being murdered. So there's a karma attached to that armor of death. And this death, you inherit when you eat that meat. So I eat a piece of meat that's been slaughtered by some guy shooting a gun, killing it or hitting over the head with a hammer, slaughtering it. The animal goes into fear. The nervous system sends a signal to the meat that putrefies it. You can put all the good sauce and marinated this, marinated that, but it's still poison because it's covering up the poison that you're eating. The digestive system's not cut out to make that easily digested. It's very difficult. If you ever had a late night dinner and a steak, you can't sleep that night or you wake up exhausted because all the energy is trying to break down the meat that you shouldn't have had. So that's what happens on the body psychologically. You get sicker, all the disease is lack of harmony. Eating meat is a disease, so you're out of harmony and you're activating the death gene a little quicker. We all have a death gene. Life begins death, death begins life. It's a cyclical nature, but you can be here longer by synchronizing with the ways of God, love, truth, and honesty, and eating right. So what happens beyond that is evolution. An animal can be a human next time around. I'm sure you've seen little dogs or cats. God, I swear to God, that's a human soul in there, you know. And sometimes you see these cumbersome humans, oh God, just like an ape, an animal. Well, that's because the fact of the matter is there's no getting away from this. You're either going up or down. You're either evolving or de-evolving, depending on your actions, thoughts, and what you're eating. So if you eat meat constantly, you're de-evolving. So your chances of transcending time and space and going to the heavenly realms next time, boom, they're limited, very limited, because your vibration's going back to the density of an animal, which is like the ice. You're not the steam, you're the ice, you're frozen. You're like an animal walking. You have flesh and you're walking like an animal. And if you look at human beings, you'll see that very clearly on some of them. So you're de-evolving by eating meat. So I'll put it to you very simply, actually. If I put a steak here and a salad here, one represents death and you're going to de-evolve. This represents life and you're going to evolve. So the choice is yours. In this third dimension, we're all given a choice. And that choice is much more serious than many people matter, because it matters if you want to transcend beyond this planet and live in the heavenly realms. Well, it's quite simple. You've got to synchronize with what God is. But if you're eating meat and you're de-evolving, the chances is you could come back as an animal rather than transcending into a godly light being. So there's a danger in that. Unfortunately, the special interest groups, the meat industry, for example, fish industry, they'll serve you up commercials, nice sauces, this and that, and you'll buy it and go, I'm hungry, I want to get a burger, but you're really de-evolving. So it's like a slice of death. It's like human genocide. So you have to wake up and realize you have a choice. You can choose to live and not be part of the murder of an animal and the poison it's putting in your body and the de-evolvement, you know, you can live by changing that, becoming one with the plants. I know people, yogis, and they hardly eat anything. I said, what do you eat? He goes, air. They're so rarefied that they can breathe in air and it fills them up because there's prana, there's chi in the air. So the rarefied your diet, the better. The meat eating, the density, the worse. So it boils down actually to the choice. Now you have understanding that meat's representing the death of you, and a vegan diet's representing the life of you. It's really that simple.
That's really good, Glenn. And I appreciate you sharing that, because I think so many people, they need to know what are the behind the reasons for veganism, and that is very well put. And you also had a interview that has gone globally that we're going to play here really quickly, to kind of, show a little bit more about veganism and your perspectives on this, because it's really vital and it's really important. So we're going to go ahead and pop this up here.
Kapu Gurga is G'day in Kalalagaya, one of the indigenous languages of Torres Strait Islands. I am Kathy. Our people thank you for protecting our Mother Earth and pray you live each day in divine bliss. Treasured viewers, welcome to our show. Glenn Ratcliffe, vegan, the complete actor, with a mission part 1 of 2. We are excited to present to you the journey of the accomplished, charismatic, and multi-dimensional Hollywood actor, writer, and producer Glenn Ratcliffe, who has traversed the full spectrum of roles spanning a 30-year career, transforming him into the complete actor he is today. What does it mean to be a complete actor? Many would answer in terms of acting methods and stylistic nuance, or having an ability to so realistically portray any range of genres and roles so that the actor and the character become one in the audience's eyes. This description, however, is still a result of the on-screen persona. To find the complete actor, however, we need to dive into the soul behind the name, the fame, and their favoured performances. Over these 2 episodes, Glenn Ratcliffe shares with us his soul-awakening path to completeness, one that has culminated in a clear mission to use acting to touch, move, and awaken his audience unto themselves. With vegan popcorn in hand, we begin the story. It all started on the muddy Scottish soccer fields.
I came out my mother's womb playing the bagpipes and kicking a soccer ball. That's all there was there. We were very impoverished, and I remember we could afford only 1 pair of shoes. It was either shoes or cleats. And these shoes would encompass going to school, playing soccer, and going to church. So I chose cleats. So I would go to church with cleats on, go to school with cleats on, play soccer with cleats on. And we used to play for hours. And that's where my love for soccer came. So there was not only the benefits of being very athletic and fit, there was the benefit of being part of something, because my home life was non-existent. So when you're part of a team and you want to win something, inspiration comes, enthusiasm comes, imagination, all the qualities that are latent when you're not doing anything, they come out. So I played and I played and I played, and I got good at it because I practiced a lot. Not that I was any better than anyone else. If people practiced 2 hours, I'd do 4. And I had a desire to do it, to be the best I could. I mean, that was going really great.
The childhood dream of success as a soccer player was soon shattered when Glenn sustained a broken ankle followed by 3 more fractures. Disappointments and darker times unfolded in the ensuing years. As life would have it, one unexpected day, opportunity knocked. While living in San Francisco as a construction worker, Glenn was inadvertently asked to attend an improv class that quickly revealed his latent acting abilities. This impromptu event served as a stepping stone to make a 180-degree turn for him.
A little bell, and it was like a bell in my head, ding, thou shalt be an actor. It was just, never thought of being an actor. It was later in life, it's not I pursued, but I had the aptitude for it just like that somehow. So it happened. You can call it destiny, you can call it serendipity, but that's how it happened. In the seed of adversity, there's a seed of a gain. There might be something better for someone there, even though they're so focused on being successful in something. If they don't do it, it's because maybe there's a higher calling.
From there on, with his youthful passion now reignited, Glenn began studying at prestigious institutions like the American Academy of Dramatic Arts and the American Conservatory Theatre and the Actors Studio. He trained in the Chekhov technique and attended master classes with Margie Haber, Brian Reese, and Robert Easton, to name just a few. Glenn built a solid foundation in the performing arts, perfected his talents in acting, improvisation, comedy and drama voiceover, commercials, dialects and accents, as well as production. Today, with 53 credits to his name, Glenn Ratcliffe has earned wide praise from his industry peers.
Working with Glenn was an absolute privilege. He pulled out the unspoken pain of the character and portrayed it in a dimension I could only dream of. Very professional and great actor. Arkeel Linden, director, Shaking Cup.
Glenn is a wonderful actor plus a great human being. It is obvious Glenn was born to be an actor. He has a natural talent and a gift for the craft. He is an actor that completely dives into the character he is playing. In addition, Glenn is always a joy to work with. His kind heart and sparkling personality make him an actor any director would be lucky to have on their set. Glenn is the whole package, a talented actor and a great person. Ula Barnish, director, eyes wide open.
Looking back, Glenn acknowledges that he has always been on a spiritual quest for the meaning of life, all the while he was facing the overwhelming sense of being without direction. As the bells of awakening rang, he sought deeper spiritual solace in meditation.
I spent many years in limbo, not really being anything, being nothing, just lost. So that led me to my first initiation, what's called Raja Yoga, many years ago, through Yogananda teachings. I lived in an ashram for a little bit. A little bell went off in my head then when he said, "Oh, the universe is all energy." I didn't know that, but it was available to me because during my childhood, part of the curriculum was RE, with R for religious, E for education. So every day, Monday through Friday at 9 o'clock, the minister would come and he would read a book of the Bible and finish with the Lord's Prayer. And that continued all through my schooling. So I had a concept of his higher power.
Over time, with deepening meditation and spiritual exposure, Glenn realized that diet played a fundamental and crucial role in spiritual progress. Despite how trying and challenging the process was, gradually over the years, he became fully vegan, a way of living now firmly entrenched into his everyday life.
Now I look at the sight of meat and it makes me sick. Really, I can't. Now I'm proud to be a vegan, and everyone I interact with, I try and explain to them the importance of that. And I say, look, on the left hand is a beautiful salad, which means life. In the right hand, there's a steak. You can choose life or death. It's up to you. The veganism, it's very important to me because, human nature, you could come back and be reincarnated into an animal. An animal you could be eating could be human last time. So not only is the meat putrefied when the animal's killed, because it sends a signal to the nervous system that putrefies the meat, and the digestive system can't digest it. It's killing the body and it's lowering your spirituality and bringing karma upon you.
Although life was going seemingly well for Glenn, once again, fate had alternate plans. While busy fulfilling his Hollywood dreams, a real-life drama intensified his spiritual evolution. En route to the set he was acting on, Glenn was rammed directly side-on by a speeding car running a red light. That impact catapulted him and his vehicle into an oncoming truck, breaking Glenn's neck. Life, it seems, had abruptly ended as Glenn's soul began its journey out of the body.
I felt a release from my heart chakra from the pineal gland to a soft spot in my head where I went around in centrifugal force. I went beyond the gravitational pull and I went into the sun. And it was like, in that split second, I saw all of my whole life in this reincarnation in the form of a balloon, like a DVD, taking me through my linear time experience. There was Gregorian chants. There was a sense of fourth dimensional consciousness. And then I popped into the sun and I just expanded in consciousness for that split second of godhood. But that one experience had a profound effect on my immortality, because I know when I die, that's where I go, into light.
Thanks to the grace of God, a miracle occurred as Glenn was given a second chance and returned to his body. While recovering from this near-death experience, Glenn knew that his life must take a renewed and deeper journey into meaning and action.
If you guys haven't already checked out our last episode, The Voice in Your Head, you definitely want to check that out. And then, this episode, we really appreciate you guys being here for this. And we also, our next episode is going to be about perception. And you don't want to miss this either, because Glenn's got some really great keys to, the different behinds of perception. And what does that actually mean? So I don't know, Glenn, if you want to give us a little sneak peek to that episode.
Well, thank you, Ashley. I don't want to say too much, but basically, anyone watching there, you're living in a false world. What you're seeing is not real. You created an illusion out of safety. And I'm going to peel back the layers of the onion and the deception from, your first reincarnation all the way through to where you are now, and why what you're seeing is an illusion, and why these actions have a premeditation from a certain source to have you come back as a talking animal rather than spiritually liberate you into the heavenly realms. So I look forward to sharing that with you next week.
Yeah, I'm excited about that a lot. So definitely, guys, tune in, because you're not going to want to miss it. We're going to be releasing new episodes each week. If you want to be on our show, you guys can email Glenn Redcliffe at iCloud.com or contact@malabash.com, and we'll get you on the show to share your own stories about being tested in your life, because there's other stories out there and we'd love to hear them. So please make sure that you, if you have comments or anything like that, let us know as well, because we'd love to hear that. And Glenn, it's been a pleasure having you here on the podcast with us. And would you like to share anything else before we end for the day?
Well, I'd just like to thank everyone listening, send you my love, and God bless you. And please remember this. When you go out to eat, or you're cooking, you're at the store, you have a choice. You have a choice. Choosing meat is death. Choosing greens is life. You have a choice. No one's going to tell you what to do and how to do it. So my sincere wish is you use your power of choice in an educated way, based on the benefits that will make you, your loved ones, and your family better. And God bless you.
Thank you so much, Glenn. Thank you guys for tuning in. It's been a pleasure, and we will see you back here next time on the show.